Captain's Key. Hope you're having a great time.
Welcome back, Sid. Finish with that.
Welcome on in. We are back with some Final Fantasy 16. We just got to the hideaway, the new and improved hideaway. So we are going to turn
Otto
around.
will want to know what happened in Cosnus. I expect he'll be in the mess.
Gotcha. We're gonna head up. We'll see how long this episode is gonna be, or this stream is gonna be. If you have been following up with the series on YouTube, thanks so much for the love and support. Just go ahead and hit that subscribe button on the channel. If you're watching here live with me in the moment on Twitch, then go ahead and shoot a follow. I'm trying to build a Crusader host and get us as big as we can. We get slinging. I don't even know what that means, but I just said it. That's how my day's been. It's been a busy day, super busy and productive, which is good. So, but my brain's a bit exhausted as a result of that. So we are going to keep it nice and easy. So some of the big things about the new hideaway, I'll kind of walk over through those. We have the Arete Stone is still with us. So this was back in the original hideaway, and now we're in the new improved hideaway with Karen's store.
All
So we
pleasure.
can talk with her about the new hideaway, so you won't hear me complaining. It's even roomier than the old one was. Got my own stores, my own little counter, and thanks to you lot, fighting the good fight, plenty of demand for your wares. The only drawback's the constant bloody racket. If it's not Doris and Otto barking their orders, it's Blackthorn and Bardolph banging away day and night. Still, if a pain in the ear hole's the price I had to pay to be Sid the Outlaw's partner in crime, I'd say I've got myself a bargain. That's about the past 5 years. Has it really been 5 years since we left the old place? How time flies. I remember like it was yesterday. We were all waiting to treat Sid to a hero's welcome when Kupka's lot turned up. Not that we knew it was them. They just poured in like a plague of rats, cutting down anyone and everything, or anyone and anything that stood in their way. Blood and bodies everywhere there was, and a voice crying out for Sid to save us in the midst of it all. I'll never forget those cries. Try as I might. But you're our leader now, Clive. Promise me you won't let anything like that happen again. Promise me that come what may, Sid will save us. Proud Karen's toll.
Purse weighing you down.
My pup is enjoying quite a big of a barky bark, so we're gonna kind of let him do what he's doing. Golden Testament. We're gonna go ahead and buy the Golden Testament. We're gonna equip that here in a moment. We're gonna buy Unfortunate Heavens. We're gonna equip that here in a moment. I found this out way too late on my personal playthrough that these items exist, and they actually supersede the items we get from the pre-order. So it's a 10% increase from the Kate Sith Charm to the Golden Testament for Gil earned, and a 5% increase of experience from the Scholar Spectrals to Unfortunate Heavens. So we're going to go ahead and equip both of those to kind of keep up with what we got going on, which is going to be good. We're going to go ahead and talk to Blackthorn. First, we're going to ask about the hideaway. So we're going to say things here ain't too bad, I suppose. I've got a decent hammer, decent anvil, an apprentice that knows his hammer from his cock. And the furnace is alright, and all thanks to old Sid's bellows. The gods only know how I keep the coals hot enough out here on the mirror without them, not with the bloody crystals, that's for sure. No, I reckon you won't find a forge like this one anywhere else in the Twins, and I count myself lucky to work it. Thanks for keeping me on. You need anything, you give us a shout. That's about the past 5 years. What, you've forgotten already? Because I haven't. It was a right pain in the arse getting this place in shape, especially with the mess we were in. Not that it was anything new for those of us who put the old hideaway together. Still, that don't mean I intend on doing it again. Update my board here. Amazing. We'll use the forge. I think we can probably... Yep, we can get the 11 bolt. So we're going to do that. And we're going to equip it right away. And then we're going to see...
Anything else?
No. We have the Demon Tamer's Sash and the Meechin's Bonds. Let's check just real quick. We're going to use the forge again. So like a compare item. There is. That's Gold Sash plus 1. I don't think upgrading it's going to get it any better. And definitely not as you go down. And same thing there. So yeah, we are good as we are. And last thing we have is Clive's Chambers. So we have our own room here in this new hideaway. And this new room is kind of quite dope, to be completely honest. So we're going to go ahead. I'll show you around and show you how it is working. Simple stuff. We have a wall of memories that collects a lot of the random things we're going to get. So, for example, we have the Oath. It was created the day Clive pledged his allegiance to Cid. This crystal shard transfixed with twin daggers is a powerful reminder of a promise made, a friendship forged, and a legacy inherited. And so we'll collect a bunch of things throughout our travels in the game, and that's where we will find them. So it's really cool to kind of hold on to the mementos of some of the important elements of some of the story, whether they be through, the majority of them are through side quests, so it expands on the story and really fleshes out some of the areas a lot more, which is dope. And then we have the Orchestrion, obviously, so we're going to go ahead and take a look. So we have Our Terms, this is the new little tune that we have. From Histoire. And last but not least, we can't get to Harpocrates yet. So we're going to go speak with Otto. Alright, I'll leave it. My dog is still a bit borky. I'm going to mute myself just a bit. My wife's playing with him right now to try to see to get out some energy. He's been very hyper today. So he's just got to get a little bit taken out. There you are, Clive.
Word of your adventures arrived this morning. Victor sends his thanks.
I doubt Kupka will miss the fools he sent to catch me. Not a single one of the bearers we saved showed any interest in coming with us. No one seems keen to join hands with an outlaw. Any news while we were away?
None worth mentioning. Gav's still off keeping an eye on the Republican army. Should be back any day now.
Understood. If anyone needs me, I'll be in the map room.
Still can't work that one out. There must be better places than the hull of a gutted airship to bury your nose in a book.
Yet this is where she's chosen to be. And I'm sure she has her reasons. I trust I'm not intruding.
Back from your mission? I'm beginning to think your habit of surviving cannot be attributed to luck alone.
One might say the same of you, Vivian Ninetails.
I'll have you know that only 4 attempts have been made on my life, and none was especially memorable. So, to what do I owe the honor? Could it be that you've come for one of my lessons?
Is that so hard to believe?
Very well then. Shall we start with the state of the realm? To absolutely no one's surprise, she finds herself at the mercy of armies and outlaws. Well, mostly armies. Though that's not for want of trying, is it, Clive? But the real question is, how did we get here?
Alright, Fenrir's done barking. So we're good.
Long though Sambrek's dominion over northeastern storm has endured,
I realize my
recent days
meaning
have
is
seen
very
the
low.
world wrest ever more land
There you
from
go.
her grasp. For which reason she has continued to wage war on her rival across the strait, hoping to claim less blackened pastures. But Odin would sooner pawn his sword than would Lud relinquish Ash. And the Empire pays dearly for every blade of grass bent beneath Sambrequois boots. Little wonder then that Sylvester set his sights on the crystalline dominion, an altogether easier target, possessed of no less ether. It was 5 years ago, while you were busying yourself with the destruction of Drake's head, that the Empire made its move, subjugating its theretofore neutral neighbor. A nation which could legitimately claim to be the center of the world. Certainly, there is no better place to stage an army. From there,
Facts.
the Holy Empire's reach spans the Twins.
Yep.
The non-aggression treaty was the only thing keeping them in check. But if they truly broke the pact without provocation, it is only a matter of time before others reply in kind. The Holy Empire, the Dhalmekian Republic, the Kingdom of Waloed, and of course, our friends in Yara. Who will be left standing, I wonder, when the last drop of blood is spilled?
So Vivian's a really interesting mechanic that they've added. Because she allows you to look at the geopolitical nature of Valistia while you're adventuring.
Oh, dark clouds are wont to gather over the Dominion. Yet in spite of it all, she has ever endured.
On my personal playthrough, I've paid the system no attention so that I can experience it freshly
as to the matter of
here on
payment
stream.
for today's lesson, complete a simple errand for me and we shall consider ourselves even.
Even? Right.
Return this volume to old tomes in the shelves. Tell him it was adequate.
I suppose it wouldn't hurt to visit our resident historian.
Okay, I'm going to talk to her.
Ah, my favorite.
We're going to ask about Vivian.
One
would think my role was abundantly clear by now. I offer you and yours the guiding light of knowledge that of matters military and political. Military and political. I say military like it was the apoditry. Both past and present, that it might illuminate your way ahead. For it is only by understanding what has come before that one might steer one's way toward a brighter future. Your role, meanwhile, is to ensure that I remain furnished with as much information on the state of the realm as your people can muster, in order that I might continue to appraise the dispositions of the great nations and those who rule them. And of course, to pay attention during my lectures, it would not do to appoint the storied Ninetales as your tutor, only to disregard her expert advice. We're going to ask about coming to the hideaway. I admit that when I took up my professor's bonnet, began teaching at the University of Canver, I did not think for a moment that I'd one day count Sid the Outlaw among my pupils, but nor did I imagine that my fellow educators would have designs on my life. And we both know how that ended. Has it been a year already? Such is the peril of an overly inquisitive mind, I suppose. One is wont to uncover that which others would go to great lengths to ensure remained hidden. Were it not for you and our mutual friend having come to our rescue, my curiosity would likely have proved fatal. But instead, I was not only saved, but granted a new lease of life, as personal tutor to a band of outlaws, no less. Far more reputable fellowship than anything in the academic world, I assure you. Ask about the Crystalline Dominion. So the Crystalline Dominion, from what I studied upon prior to playing the game, is a neutral fifth nation, technically, because Rosaria was... No, it's a neutral sixth nation, because there's the Iron Kingdom, Rosaria, the Dhalmekian Republic, the Holy Empire of Sunbreak, and then the Dark Kingdom of Waloed. So it's a sixth nation, and it's very, very neutral. The Holy Empire of Sunbreak, in their lust for new realm after the Waloedian army has invaded, has sent them south, and they've taken over the Crystalline Dominion as their home. So it is now the seat of their empire, for them to expand out further. We're going to ask about the Crystalline Dominion. My beloved homeland, the crossroads of Valistia, where only one has to stroll the streets to hear news from every far-flung corner of the realm. Its mother crystal yields more shards than any other, and its lands even now remain untouched by the blight. It is a blessed country indeed. Or at least it was until Sunbreak elected to invade and establish a new holy capital upon Twinside's heretofore neutral shores. It pains me to see the land I love so changed, and even more to know that I did not predict it. I knew that Emperor Sylvester had designs on the Dominion, but to abandon Oriflame, the seat of the Holy Empire since its inception, seems too audacious a move even for him. We're going to view the state of the realm. So here's how the system works. We have two sides to it. So by speaking to Vivian with the Hideaway's map room, we can view the state of the realm and kind of figure out what's going on, take deeper lessons into some things. So we're going to look at the Grand Cast. So the Grand Cast just allows us to view the types of relationships that the characters hold within each other. So for example, we have Clive Rosfield. So this is at the very beginning of the game, and we get to watch how the story unfolds with Clive Rosfield, who is a childhood friend with Jill Warwick, who is best friends with a puppy named Torgal, and who is the sworn shield of his brother, the dominant of Phoenix, Joshua Rosfield. This yellow line indicates that they are related by paternal bond to the Archduke and the Duchess of Rosaria, who are man and wife, Elwyn and Annabella Rosfield. And we are also a steed rider of the white Chocobo Ambrosia. Now, we also know that Clive Rosfield was training under Rodney Murdoch, the Lord Commander, and also served alongside as sworn shields with Sir Wade and Sir Tyler, right? So then we go to the Night of the Flames, and we get to figure out a lot has happened. So obviously we know Joshua, from Clive's perspective, Joshua was dead, which we now know to be false, and his father was killed as well, was assassinated by his wife. And we also learn about this mysterious stranger who's a dominant of fire. We get to the beginning of the game, like the actual beginning of the game, where the Imperial Bearer Wyvern is still related to the former Duchess Annabella Rosfield and serves under Tiamat, a member of the Holy Empire of Sunbreak, who attempts to assassinate Wyvern, or Clive, who is attempting to save Shiva's dominant Jill Warwick. The two battle between the Titan's dominant Hugo Kupka. We also know that he's being manipulated by Benedict Harmon, who serves the King of Waloed, Barnabas Tharm, who also has a servant who's the Royal Knight Lord Commander. The king broke his trust with the Republican Prime Minister, who's comrades with him, making him chief strategist. And we also have just like some, empty space there. Then we start adding some new characters, obviously, to the story as well. So we get Geralf, who serves underneath Benedict Harmon. We also form an alliance with the Hideaway leader Sidolphus Telamon, who serves alongside Otto, Karen, Goods, Blackthorn, Tarya, and Harpocrates II Hyperboreos, who then in turn heals and rescues Jill in their respective manners. We form an alliance with another person, a Mr. Quinton, who is an Alliant. Torgal is the Fine Hound. Nice. We have some old acquaintances that we've learned between Ramu's dominant and Garuda's dominant. Fun stuff. No new major characters past that. Other than the attendant to Margrace, which is somehow connected to this dominant of fire. The man is apparently allegedly named Margrace. We acquire Gav as an ally within the Sid's Hideaway. Nothing new. And you continue to see Dion Lesage, master and servant to the attendant of the Crown Prince. So we start to see these relationships kind of form and develop. Still have best friends, traveling companions, all this fun stuff. No new characters are being added yet. Then we start finding stuff. So we find Hannah Murdoch. This is Rodney Murdoch's wife, obviously. We form a relationship of allyship with Martha, who's also an ally with Sid. And no new characters from there. But the nature of the relationship kind of changes. We learn that because the Holy Empress of Sunbreak, Annabelle Lesage, tyrannizes part of the Imperial province of Rosaria, she commands the order that ends up slaying Hannah Murdoch at the hands of the Black Shields, I believe. And we continue to watch the kind of the nature of the game develop, which is still really cool. So you get to see Sylvester Lesage is now married to Annabelle, but they are not. She is not obviously the mother of Dion. We also learn that he has a High Cardinal. We form another relationship in alliance with Isabel over at Northreach, and then after that, we know Sidolphus Telamon dies. We find out the mysterious person was really Joshua Rosfield, who's not dead, and Ultima is sealed away as a result of that. And where we currently are now, obviously, we're going to have just a few more people that have joined us. So the situation map. Situation map is where we get to view a lot of the relevant events, kind of as they happen in the world. So for example, that in this immediate moment, we go to Stillwind with Tyler and Wade, and we deal with the goblins. There's the Ducal Army, loyal soldiery there. They're going to the Ducal Army's heading from Rosalith to go conduct the rite of ancestral communion at the Phoenix Gate. We knew that. But unfortunately, the Holy Empire of Sunbreak goes and invade through the Phoenix Gate, and the Night of the Flames occurs. We know as a result of that the Imperial Army then swoops into Rosalith, while the Iron Kingdom invades Rosalith as well, resulting in the Boiling Crusade and the territorialization of Rosaria. We go down to the official beginning of the game where we're traveling with the bastards of Fort Zernitra in the Knights of the Defile. We were assassins that were dispatched to kill the icon of Ice, whose dominant is Jill Warwick, so Shiva. The Iron Crusade continues as the Battle of Nysa, in which the defense of the Dominican Republic kind of goes in earnest. We travel to Lostwing, and there's an occupation of Caer Norvin, which we go ahead and kind of head to. In the process of that, we go ahead and fight off and kill Benedict de Harmon. As we travel from this, what ends up happening is we see the retreat to Waloed from Caer Norvin. So Waloed leaves, and Waloed, because Waloed is here from the Great Wood, we find out that they're present, but they depart once we're done. Waloed and then Holy Empire of Sunbreak officially clash here at the Battle of Belenus Tor, in which we saw the icons get unleashed. And we know that the Imperial Army is kind of holding us off at the King's Fall, as we are in that moment. Just learning that we are officially the Dominant of Fire, and that we are the ones that killed Joshua and all that fun stuff. We eventually go back to the Phoenix Gate with Jill to go to the Apothecary. That's where we fully accept what happens, and we know that from Rosalith, the massacre at East Bowl gets commanded. Boom, it happens. So we go ahead and make our way all the way back to the hideout. We know that in this meantime, that what happens is Hugo Kupka in the Dominican Republic is sending his forces up to the hideaway to slaughter everyone that he can in an attempt to get revenge for Benedict's death. But we're traveling up through the Holy Empire until we get to Drake's Head, where it falls. And that is where we are somewhat present, in which the Empire's Dominion, obviously occupies the Crystalline Dominion. So this stretch of land is the neutral territory. We know that Hugo Kupka sends in pursuit of Cid some more forces to Cosnus, which we started at, and that's kind of where we left off. So it's really cool to kind of look through that and kind of get an idea of how the world progresses, and we get to see a lot of the geopolitical nature of the game. I really love that they added that, because it makes the world feel a lot more alive in a way in which you can go back and kind of review the tomes. But we're going to be speaking with Mr. Tomes himself, and it seems here my Barky boy has decided he wanted to show up and pay us some love. So depending on how active he is, we might be a little radio silent here, buddy. I'm giving him some cheek scritches, and he's loving it.
Norseman Harpocrates.
Norseman Harpocrates.
Now that is a name I have not heard for a long time. So long, in fact, I had half forgotten it was mine. Welcome home, Clive. You were missed, as always.
I believe this belongs to you. Vivian asked me to return it.
Ready? Our resident scholar devours books faster than young Tet does lemon tarts. Would that I could do the same, but alas, I no longer possess the necessary constitution for such indulgence, either in words or tarts. That said, I have continued my search for mention of the creature you encountered at Drake's Head, but without access to the great libraries of Oriflamme or the Dominion, I regret that I have been able to find little and less. I am sorry.
Please, don't apologize. I'll send word to our associates. See if they can't furnish you with more books.
I fear it is not more books that I require, but the right ones. Mayhap we look in the wrong places. There are still libraries to the north.
I'll see what I can do.
You are too kind. There are not many in this world who would indulge the whims of a tired old historian.
Not too tired to go filching Kupo nuts, though.
Fix
Always
my,
got a pocket for him. Nicks him off the Moogle.
Hush now. We all know there's no such thing as Moogles.
The twins seem well.
Aye.
I'm going to fix something just real quick, so you'll see me kind of dip down for just a moment.
The loss of their parents weighs heavy on them, however well they hide it. Titan took much from us that night. From some
there we go.
More than others.
Plugging back
the
my
that remain, they are not quick to heal.
Or my stream deck.
Which is why we must give them all the time they need.
That we must. just as I must give you the time you need to recuperate. Good day, Clive.
Good day.
It was good that Harpocrates stated that when he was worried about getting his library filled, that it's not about filling it with more tomes, but filling it with the right tomes. I think as a lore master, your responsibility should be to acquire the appropriate information. So I'm glad they kind of add that to really flavor his character. We're going to ask about the hideaway. So it says, look around you. While it is a far cry from the Imperial Library in Oriflame, in 5 short years, we've amassed more volumes than most men or women might hope to see in their lifetime. No longer are the tales they contain hidden away from all but the privileged. We have liberated them, that they may fill the minds of all who hunger for knowledge. Still, there is much more out there, and as long as I draw breath, I shall continue to gather what I can. Why, one day a chronicle of your own adventures might even grace these shelves, or failing that, the floor. Oh. Ask about the past 5 years. It has been difficult, certainly. When Titan visited his wrath upon us on that dreadful night, we lost much. He robbed us not only of our home and our loved ones, but of that which Cid fought fiercest to preserve, our hope. Hope that we might have never found again had you not taken his name and become our light in the darkness. Had you not led us here to Benumir and the Invincible, where among the ghosts of the fallen our journey can continue. Here in the belly of a Leviathan, untouched by the passing of 1,000 years, does our hope burn brighter than ever, and here may it burn for 1,000 more. We're going to ask about Tet and Crow. Those are the 2 kids we saw earlier. Still remember the day I first met Tet and Crow, chasing their father around the hideaway one moment, clinging to their mother's kirtle the next. The twins' love for their parents was something to behold, so fierce and pure. When they passed, I feared the void they left in the children's lives could never be filled. Neither spoke nor smiled for years, hiding themselves away here in the shelves to bury their sorrows in the leaves of these tomes. And thank goodness they did, for I believe the stories proved a welcome distraction, as over time their pain faded, and now they laugh and frolic as they once did, if not with more vigor. They remind us that no matter how deep our wounds, we all have the capacity to heal. That's a true statement. And that happiness lost may be found again. Review the 1,000 tomes. We got some information to hand off.
You've read this particular chapter before.
We are currently an extant encyclopedic, and we are still an extant encyclopedic.
How good it is to see you, Clive. If you have a question,
we're going to go ahead and look through some of these key items. We have Clive Rosfield, obviously. He took on both the predecessor's name and role of Cid the Outlaw, and together with other survivors, we are continuing his mission. We're not going to go back through that. We have Joshua Rosfield. He is the Dominant of the Phoenix, former heir to the ducal throne. Joshua was thought to have died at the hands of the second Icon of Fire due to the disaster at the Phoenix Gate. However, he's very much alive, which we know. Hugo Kupka, we know he's kind of being a jerk. The man who loved his life after learning that Cid the Outlaw still lives. He tasks his personal guard with capturing and torturing bears in order to draw out his nemesis and take his revenge. So people are just a means to an end for this guy. That's the type of reality he lives, is where bears just have become a means to an end. Jill Warwick, Dominant of Shiva, trusted confidant of Clive, leader of the new hideaway. Together they continue Cid's mission to emancipate bears, rid the realm of the Mother Crystals. We have Torgal, obviously faithful friend, fiercely protective of him and his allies, loath as he is to lose his best friend again, and never strays far from Clyde's side, putting the hunting skills Cid taught him to use in fending off foes and picking up trails. Sidolphus Telamon, leader of the hideaway and Dominant of Ramu, Warden of Thunder, his plan to create a world where bears and dominants could die on their own terms meant destroying the Mother Crystals, which was an act of blasphemy that could see him forever denounced as an outlaw. It was during their mission to fell Drake's head in 873 that Sidolphus Telamon lost his life to a beast from the beyond, passing the title of Cid the Outlaw on to his protege Clive. We have Otto, the chief steward of Clive's hideaway. He continues to serve the same role as he did under Cid. We have Karen, who obviously is one of Cid's most entrusted allies. After Cid's hideaway was laid waste by Hugo Kupka and his minions, she and her hard-working yet long-suffering apprentice Goots followed Clive to the new hideaway in Benumir, where they serve him in the same capacity they served his predecessor, sourcing whatever supplies her fellow residents are in need of. Goots, the big boy, apprenticed Karen, ally of the hideaway. After Cid's hideaway was reduced to rubble at the hands of Hugo Kupka, he followed his nan in joining Clive at their new home in the lake. He has a keen interest in smithing, spends what little spare time he is. Spends what little spare time he has granted, or he is granted, so it's something that's given. So he is given free time. Got it. Heating and hammering metal, just as Blackthorn showed him. Blackthorn, obviously, our blacksmith. Fall hideaway, sold by Hugo Kupka, Dominant of Titan, his private guard on the first hideaway of Cid the Outlaw in the year 873. The safe haven established amongst forgotten ruins, long consumed by the Blight, was entirely destroyed. No good. We have Sid's Hideaway and The Hideaway. Established under the leadership of Clive Rosfield, who took on the title of Sid after his former leader's passing, the Titans' destruction of the old Hideaway. Here, a community of like-minded individuals from across the realms gathered to build a place where people can live and die on their own terms. Like its predecessor, it is built within fallen ruins, deep within the deadlands of Central Storm. Decidedly, unlike its predecessor, however, it is located in the center of a lake, Ben Amir, across whose waters any invading enemy can easily be spotted long before their arrival. Good. Ben Amir, a lake in the Blighted Lands on the southern edge of the Grand Duchy of Rosaria, named for the dragon that some tales say created the basin when it fell from the sky. Fallen airships dot its expansive waters like forgotten cenotaphs, leading some to liken it to a graveyard. Its remote location, far from any trade route and deep inside the Deadlands, made it an obvious choice for Clive when faced with rebuilding Sid's legacy. Way to go. Well, the Empire of Sombreg, obviously they've gone to conquest, which we knew. Oriflame was abandoned. Drake's Head was destroyed, obviously in the fall of Drake's Head, which happened in 873. Yeah, bringing down its Mother Crystal in a daring and unprecedented attack. Investigations after the fact concluded that the infiltrators took advantage of the disturbance caused by an ether flood to gain entry to the Empire's holy sanctum. In the aftermath of the incident, Sid was declared a wanted man, and the faction he led a criminal enterprise to be hounded. When Sombreg moved its capital to the Crystalline Dominion, Northreach went from being a vital gateway to the seat of the Empire to a forgotten country backwater in a matter of moons. And with the fall of Drake's Head, the ether was soon leached from the lands around it, leaving the fields fallow and the once thriving environs barren and lifeless. We have the Vale, Northreach's premier house of companionship. We have the Moor, which is a farming village located in the rye fields of the Royal Meadows, not far from the Samberquois capital of Oriflame. Glorious is a key strategic point in central Sombreg. Its location just south of Oriflame makes it a vital first line of defense against any assault in the Holy Capital. The road from Northreach to Cair Norvent and beyond is the Crystal Belt, which bisects the area. You know, the Dragon's Eyrie, King's Fall, the Dominican Republic. Oh, we still have a person of interest? Who? Oh, we didn't even bother. So Harpocrates II, he's our resident historian. Vivian Ninetales is our scholar and strategist who, again, does all of our information. So the moniker Ninetales, of which she is herself fond of, was gifted by her fellow scholars in recognition of her ability to speak at length on almost any subject. We have Goat. He keeps the ledgers. We have Obelus. Nice, he's the ferryman. We have Kenneth. He is the cook. Tet, one of the kids. Crow, one of the kids. Quentin, the landlord of the Lost Wings Tavern. Isabel, obviously the proprietress of the Vale. We have Victor, who is a friend of Sid's, and later Clive's, who has been checking on things in Namekia and Costness. The Medicine Girl, and Ultima. Ultima is an otherworldly being that Clive encountered in the inner sanctum of Drake's Head. He addressed Clive as Mythos, which he will do more than once. And then we have the Mysterious Watcher, which is the guy that Hugo Kupka was using in order to kind of follow along and figure out where Sid had went. We have the Men of the Rock, which are the Namekian Republic. I think that is his personal guard. The town of Costness. We have the Kingdom of Waloed, just some more information about how they pushed into Sombreg and forced to move. Crystalline Dominion is obviously an independent state, which has now been taken over. We have the Non-Aggression Treaty, which is a pact which codified the agreement between nations to refrain from invading the Crystalline Dominion, laying claim to its mother crystal. Both cemented the Dominion's position at the center of world politics and placed checks on the ability of key players to exploit that position. That has been broken. Mysteries of the Realm. The heart of the Mother Crystal is a bright, shining convolution of shards that sits at the center of each Mother Crystal. When a heart shatters, so too does the mountain around it. Nice. We have the crystals. Obviously, those they cause the blight by draining the ether from the world. Magic barriers. Some dominants have the ability to call upon part of their icon's powers to summon a ward, a nigh impervious barrier that no magic nor matter can cross. Ethereal tolerance. Is high in bearers and dominance, allowing them to survive concentrations of ether that would turn any human who lacks their gift. Some animals, even chocobos, also have a natural resistance to the effects of ether, but one of the many reasons why the birds are so beloved across the Twins. So the inner sanctum of the city of Oriflame. The ether flood is a pool of concentrated ether that forms on the land's surface, thought to be caused by an imbalance in its diffusion beneath. Though ether is usually invisible at flood level concentrations, takes on a blue glow. Those with natural ethereal tolerance can survive exposure to a flood, at least for a short time, but most living things will eventually succumb to its effects, losing their mind and turning akashic. We obviously have some information on the dominant of lightning, the Warden of Thunder, Ramu, whose power most lately awakened within Sidolphus Telamon. Dominants of the icon are most often emerge among descendants of the Modes of Thunder, a tribe who once dwelled in the lands of Central Ash, lands that the Kingdom of Waloed now lays claim to. Mayhaps in part due to the tribe's comparatively advanced learning, Ramu is associated with wisdom and judgment to this day. And we have some stuff on Typhon. Seemingly drawn to the destruction of the heart at Drake's head, Ultima emerged from a tear in reality wearing the skin of Typhon, a withered and wizened colossus, and drew Clive into a space between worlds wherein the ethereal entity might test his worth as a vessel. We got some stuff on just some raptors. These are just type, obviously different types of creatures. Vultures, same thing. The vultures are a type of creature. We have the dragonettes, which are a type of creature. And then the panthers, which are a type of curl. Mixtures of the realm, we have priming, so the ability to turn fully into the dominant, into the icon. And then semi-priming, which is this like half hybrid mark. We have the airship, which was legend has it that the people of the Fallen once sailed through the skies in the bellies of these ships. That'd be nice. We have the slave masters of the Dominican Republic. Beasts. Nice. We have the Akashic. So the Akashic I want to study more into. So the Akashic is an irreversible change brought about by a living over being's exposure to ether. Creatures are stripped of any intelligence or sense of self that they may have once had and become suffused with a life force, usually manifesting as an extreme strength and aggression. Flora can also turn, resulting in their twisted overgrowth. Those with ethereal tolerance, however, such as dominants and bearers, are less likely to turn Akashic. It's the Outlaw, which is Clive. We have Mythos, which is Clive. We have the Vessel, which is Clive. Clive is everything.
Did you learn everything you needed?
Yes. Taria.
Not back a blink and you're already off solving everyone's problems. It looks good, Clive.
Oh, big
Goes well
stretch.
with a scowl.
That's always good. Get a big stretch in
for so
when you
long.
can. Treat
I'd
yourself.
forgotten what life was like without it. What it was like to be myself. And it's all thanks to you, Talia.
The scalpel did most of the work. Ah, before I forget, a rider was here with a letter from Gav. Otto left it on your desk.
Not stole us. All right. I'll have a look.
And then you get some rest.
So another mechanic we have here in the Hideaway is we have Sid's, the Outlaws, or Clive Rosfield's desk. So this desk, what it does is we get letters from different NPCs throughout the world. Some of them are going to give us quests. Most of them are not. So the reading table reports letters and other important missives addressed to Clive are delivered to the reading tables. Nice. And we have the Republic's play. The Republican army marches on the Empire at Twinside, and the men of the Rock have been summoned to the front. Something big is brewing, I reckon. I'll see you're done to wear upon my return.
What does Gav have to say?
The Republican army is on the march, leaving Randalar in Hugo Kupka's charge. With him and his men occupied with the defense of the capital, they're less likely to trouble us.
Good news, then.
It's more than that. This is our chance. The one we've been waiting for.
But look how far we've come. All that we have here, our friends, the Hideaway, are they not cause for joy?
5 years. 5 long years. If I could only command this power I've been granted, we might have achieved so much more.
Each time I reach for it, it's like something is holding me back.
Summoning an icon exacts a price not easily paid.
Which is why they kind of curse
knows
out.
This only too well. It's merely trying to save you from yourself.
And every burden I cannot bear falls to you.
This mission of ours has made me question everything I thought I knew. But one thing has become abundantly clear. The crystals take more than they give. In exchange for momentary comfort, we must endure a lifetime of pain, war after war, loss upon loss. And now they rob us of our very homes, leaving naught but dust and ash. But you're trying to change that. We're trying to change that. And to me, that's no burden.
I know, but...
Try not to forget. We're only here because Joshua gave us a second chance. It would be a pity to waste such a precious gift.
It was there. It wasn't an illusion. I heard him call out to Ultima. If Joshua is still alive, he'll be looking for that thing.
Do you think he will ever come back?
I know he will. And we must be ready when he does. To a world without mother crystals.
This is a classic.
To sit.
And so the North is lost.
I knew that the Blight spread ever more swiftly, Your Grace. But this is far, far worse than any could have imagined.
It is only a matter of time before the twins are no more.
So the twins are losing ground. The North has lost ground. Loot has lost ground.
The world marches
So
ever
is
closer
Rosaria.
to its end, and here we chase shadows. Tell me, brother, are our efforts in vain?
Clive, a moment, if you... my apologies, I didn't mean to... intrude.
Not at all. We were just discussing strategy.
Speak freely, Otto.
It's Martha, from the inn. She's gone missing. Anyway, I'll be in the mess when you've finished.
Very well. What would make Martha leave them? Heston.
We have a new orchestrion roll. I'm gonna check the orchestrion out.
Have we any more knuckle pies?
What do we know, Otto?
Some lads from the Imperial garrison in Rosaria started a fight over at Martha's Rest. Blood was spilled, bones were broken. The usual. But somewhere in the middle of it all, Martha vanished without a word to anyone. And that ain't like her, Clive. Something's not right.
You think this was planned?
Of course it bloody was. Ever since Eastport, the Empire's been tightening its grip around the Duchy's balls. They've strung up everyone who's ever set eyes on a runaway, claiming they're traitors to the Holy Throne, conspiring to restore the House of Rosfield to power. And now it sounds like the bastards have turned their attentions to the pallbearers meek enough to stay put. Naturally, old Martha could see the way the wind was blowing, complained that it was getting harder and harder to take bearers in.
And now she's missing. She's fallen into the hands of the Empire. We could be next.
Couple of curse breakers are already on their way to the inn.
Nice.
They should help speed up the search. But if this is as bad as I think it is, you might end up having to save their asses and all.
Don't worry, Otto. I'll make sure everyone gets home safe.
Okay, so we are going to talk to Vivian Ninetales just real quick, and then we're going to head to the Curse Breakers.
Here for another of my lectures. Allow me to educate you. Here you are. One must understand one's place in the world.
Okay, so the new update here is, the Dominican Republic is going ahead and sending the Siege of the Crystalline Dominion over at the Twins. So we got to be mindful of that. We'll do a side quest from our handy dandy boatsman, our Roman from the wilds.
Finish with that. Welcome back, Sid.
Alright, Obelisk.
Blighted bilge.
Is everything all right?
Aside from the holes in my hull, everything's roses.
The lake water doesn't agree with it, then?
That's one way of putting it. And unless you got some grand scheme to suck the black from the lake like we do in the atrium, that slurry will keep eating away at the timber like young Tech does our lemon tarts. Suppose a coat of pitch might stave off the rock for a moon or so, assuming we had any pitch, which we don't. Not any bloody more. Doubt the old tub's got more than a dozen runs left in him.
Someone finds you some path?
Of course, Obelisk. Your skiff is our only means of reaching the mainland. Without it, we'd be lost.
Well, I'm glad someone round here sees it that way. To make pitch, you need pitch trees. But in case you haven't noticed, live trees are one of the 1,000 things sorely lacking in the Deadlands. Now, I'm not so unkind as to ask you to fell a faraway forest and lug the logs back here to the mere, which is why we'll be needing a suitable alternative. And it just so happens I once heard the thorny pitchers of Curltail Falls cover themselves in a sticky wax to trap birds and beetles and whatnot. Might be enough to tide me over.
Sounds easier than felling a faraway forest.
Thanks, buddy.
That's for certain.
Uh-oh. That's an unhappy Poos. Let me separate the two real quick.
easier than felling a forest, I said. Trees don't have teeth.
That's it.
We had a Will of the Likes combo of 200. It's pretty good. But you wax.
I can't imagine Obelisk needing any more.
Now go back to Obelisk.
That's it.
Well, did you find me some wax?
Find is one way of putting it.
Ugh! Reeks like a chocobo's arse. Well, I don't suppose the Argo will mind as long as he stays above the waves.
Argo? So your boat has a name? I didn't know.
Yeah. Same as my old man. He was a ferryman himself back before the Blight came. The boat's all I have left of him. And thanks to you, he'll sail another day.
We acquired the Badge of Might +1, which I believe increases our defense. If I'm right. Yeah, oh, it increases our attack. That's not bad. We're just not using it. Off to Martha's Rest. This is when we're officially going to meet the Black Shields by name.
What happened here?
Come on. We need to find the others.
Best off staying where we are for now, I reckon.
Let's get you to a physical. Sid? What said you'd be coming?
I trust you don't mind. Also thought you might need some help. And it appears he was right.
You, could say that, yes. They're saying the Imperials ascended like a storm. No one was spared their fury. Martha tried to step in and calm things down, but all our efforts got her were a pair of iron shackles and a hard march.
Any idea where?
Judging by their tracks, they headed towards Sorrowwise Bay.
To the Abbey, sheltering Martha's bearers.
The bastards. Jill and I will go after them. You take care of the people here.
We will. But, before you go, one of the locals heard something. He said the soldiers were talking about a culling. I don't know how big this is, but it doesn't sound good. Be careful out there, Sid.
You do the same.
Cole is right. That was no tavern brawl. It was a message.
But a culling. Bearers are the property of the Empire. The garrison wouldn't have the authority to act alone. The orders would have had to have come from higher up.
Which they did. Which we'll get to in a moment.
Get those horses.
Get surrounded.
Make it look easy.
Let's try.
Got his shell blocks certain attack. So he's dead. Time to fight. Nice try. Get him! Nice, that's a parry.
I was on my way to the Abbey, minding my own business. The screaming loons came charging out of the garrison.
Okay, so we gotta maneuver around.
Up ahead. Martha. You heard.
Oh, Martha.
Don't worry about me. It's them at the Abbey who need you. You have to do something.
Tell us what happened.
What happened? The damn Black Shields, that's what happened.
The Black Shields?
The bastards caught wind. The abbot and I were helping bearers. They were gonna hang us both. When the sick rose from their beds. Poor souls turned on the Imperials. Distracted them long enough for me to get away.
Then, they may still be alive. Martha, do you think you can make it back to the inn? Cole is there with the other curse breakers.
We can try.
I think so. Thank you, Clive.
I mean, who's gonna tell us no?
Black Shields. Is this some sort of twisted joke? There has only ever been one Order of Shields in Rosaria, and they fought to defend all our citizens.
It seems a
Oh, it
step
got
too
personal.
far, even for the Empire.
You're finished. Finished.
Level up. Nice.
Are we too late?
There might still be someone inside.
No.
No one survived.
Damn it.
I thought you lot were all spent.
Uh-oh.
Murderers. They drove the bearers to this.
Wait. These two aren't turned.
That bitch of an innkeeper must have sent them.
Colluding with the enemies of the Empire is a serious offense.
And there's the Black Shields.
And for their crimes shall they be punished. Such is the law.
Time for Clive to get pissed.
To dwell in darkness that we may purge the night and welcome lasting dawn. On these our swords we swear.
How dare you speak those words? Have you no honor?
Clive.
This won't take long.
Yeah.
Is that all of them?
I think so.
I didn't see the abbot. He may still be alive.
Uh-oh.
Found her.
The abbot.
The bearers died protecting him, calling upon what little magic they had left in their bodies.
Clive. He's breathing.
We're friends of Martha. We're here to help.
Are the Imperials dead?
Yeah.
Every last one.
Super dead.
If only that were true. The Black Shields will return. The cuttings will continue. Rosaria will never be saved unless we save her. Tell Mother to beg his age and tell her this wasn't her fault.
I shall.
Sid! Where are you? Sid!
In here! We found a survivor!
Clive? He's gone.
Alright, welcome Kid Cat.
We've laid the abbot to rest. But the bearers... they didn't need to die like this.
No, they didn't. But it was their choice. They knew the fate that awaited them and chose to meet it on their terms, fighting for those who fought for them.
Martha said they rose from their beds, threw themselves at the Imperials so she and the abbot could escape.
I've gathered the bearers' remains. We should consign them to the tide.
There's a drawbridge not far from here. Radix jump. The currents there are swift. If the abbot was still with us, he'd have taken the dust there himself and performed the casting. I'll get someone to...
I'll do it.
Of course. Cole and I will remain here and see to the Imperials.
victorious march. Every now and then we'll find these are basically hunts.
Something is sponsoring us, Torval. What am I saying? Of course it has. It's a floating eyeball.
Waken wind!
Took forever. All right.
You didn't see that coming.
Ah, got him.
That must be the bridge. So shall the waters cleanse thee of thy burden, and bear it out to sea.
And now they are truly free.
I hope so. What of the Imperials?
A pyre was made. It's more than they deserve. We should go back. Cole is worried about Martha.
All right.
Okay, back to Martha's Rest.
We're best off staying where we are for now, I reckon.
No one survived then?
I'm sorry. Before he passed, one of them bade me tell you not to blame yourself.
Doesn't mean I won't. Doesn't mean their blood's not on my hands. Cole said you cast their remains. That was good of you. But it should have been me. This was all my fault.
How? You couldn't have known.
But I did. And I turned a deaf ear to the warnings like the fool I am. The rumors started moons ago. Of black-clad devils descending on villages in the dead of night to slit the throats of sleeping bearers. But I assumed it was all just nonsense concocted by the Empire.
Nothing but a ghost story meant to make folk think twice about lending a hand to a fugitive bearer.
And in ordinary times you would have been right. What these Black Shields are doing is unthinkable. Which begs the question, why do it at all? My mother obviously has a hand in this. I cannot make sense of her actions.
Unpicking what goes on in that woman's head is a job for someone with more time on their hands. Right now, I need swords and men to wield them, preferably big ones. If those Imperials think they can come in here again and threaten my people, they're in for a rude awakening. Oh, before I forget, a Stolas from Otto landed just before you arrived. He asked me to tell you that Gav has returned.
Then we must as well. Will you be all right here, Martha?
We can stay longer if you wish.
No need. I'll be ready should the Imperials come calling. Though I wouldn't turn my nose up if you were to lend me a pair of them strapping young curse-breakers.
Uh-oh. Why? What you trying to do, Martin? Okay. Ooh. Oh, good.
Anything catch your eye?
The Founder's footsteps. Go ahead and grab that.
There you go. That all, is it?
Try not to move. You'll only make it worse.
Oi!
Good old Rowan.
You handy with that sword of yours?
No.
Course you are. Bet you're a bloody marvel with the thing. Now, question is, are you willing to use it or not? Because a flock of noble chocobos are in need of help.
Chocobos?
You heard me right. Wild birds? Hmm? The big ones? And not just any chocobos at that. Whiteheart and her flock are the bravest birds you ever did see. They protect travellers round these parts from bandits and the like.
Chocobos? Fighting bandits?
It's true. Why, they saved me from a gang of footpads only yesterday. Nasty lot they were too. And now, they're back, looking to settle the score. Oh, go on then. Don't just stand there. Go and help them.
Oh, I'm gonna help the chocobos.
All right.
There's a good lad.
Where can I find these chocobos?
I saw him cut across the way over yonder. The rotten scoundrels were driving the poor things towards the old dock. It's a dead end, that is. You save Whiteheart and her flock, you hear me? There ain't a pluckier bird in all the world. She's a hero to us locals. And don't worry, you'll know her when you see her right enough.
I'm sure I will.
And good luck to you. And give those no-good bastards a hiding from me.
Alright. Begin our quest to get these chocobos. We're gonna go ahead and travel out to find the white-winged wonder, which I just so wonder what type of white-winged chocobo we know of. I seem to only know
Why
one.
not? That's quite a name for a chocobo. A white feather. I thought Ambrosia was one of a kind. Speaking of brave birds, looks like they went that way. These chocobos aren't going down without a fight.
It's a white
We got you
feathered
cornered,
chocobo.
Feathers. You didn't think you'd seen the last of us, did you? We've been bad for business.
Okay.
I reckon someone will pay good coin to mount your head on their wall.
Not around here, they won't.
Oh. And why's that, eh?
Because she's something of a hero in these parts. You hurt her, and I hurt you.
Piss off. Or better still, how about we hurt you both?
All right then. But don't say I didn't warn you.
Nice, 20,000 points of damage. And he... Oh, he's done. Boom.
You're safe now.
Uh-oh, Scar was I.
White heart, I presume. Do you know her, boy? That scar. It couldn't be. Ambrosia. It is you. You survived. You found yourself a flock.
Oi! Is it over? I thought I'd come and see how you were getting on. Oh, well, you sorted the bastards then. I knew you would. And the whole flock made it through unscathed.
Thankfully, they did. And not only that.
Well, I'll be. I never stopped to think our hero here might once have been someone's mount. Though I dare say she'd suit a fine fellow like yourself. Reckon our feathered friend must have learned a thing or two from her master. Kind-hearted warrior that you are. Bird like her would have cost a princely sum. You born a lord or something?
Well,
yeah, super lord.
Oh, no, sorry. I didn't mean to pry. Don't matter who you are. You done right by me.
What a swell dude.
What is it, girl?
She wants her master back, I reckon. Told you. And it seems her pals agree.
Is that it? You want to come with me?
Well, bugger me if this ain't a heartwarming sight. The lads down the stables will be hearing about this tonight. Oh, stay right where you are. Doesn't she cut an handsome figure, eh?
Correct.
She does indeed. How much do
and
I
now
owe
we've
you?
unlocked the Chocobo.
A few scraps of leather's the very least I owe old Whiteheart. Oh, I'll be sad to see her go, of course. But she's earned her right to happiness and more besides. Don't you worry. We'll get along just fine without her. You hear that, Whiteheart? You've earned yourself some time off. You have fun traveling with your master now. You seem awful familiar now I get a proper look at you. That's it. When those chocobos swarmed my cart on the road, didn't you? No, that can't be right. That fellow was a bearer.
Must have been my double.
Oh, must have been, eh? Oh, that'll be the excitement getting to me. Silly sod that I am. Pay me no mind. Anyhow, best be on my way. Good luck to the both of you.
You take care of your flock for now. I'll call you when I need you.
Alright, we have the Chocobo. So we have Ambrosia, the Chocobo, who is now our mount. If we so wish to be riding around, we have Ambrosia's Tack, which is an item that now appears in our room. Calling Ambrosia is super easy. You just go ahead and hold R3. Ride that boy.
Fly, Ambrosia. Thanks, girl.
Super good stuff. Okay, from here we are good to go ahead and head back to the hideaway, and we'll see if we get through like a series of cutscenes before we figure out how much more we want to do, because we might end it just a bit early tonight, depending upon where this puts us. We also got a new song and a new letter. It was the founder's footsteps. We'll stick with Histoire.
You think it's alright to touch him?
A bird by any other name. Forgive my insistence on writing you these silly letters. Would that we had more time to speak to each other in person, but for every day we spend together, it feels as though we must suffer another two apart. I'm gladdened to hear of your most unexpected reunion with Ambrosia, or should I say Whiteheart. You told me once how your chocobo sacrificed herself to protect you that night at Phoenix Gate, and here, so many years later, we find she has spent her life doing the exact same thing, defending others. Some things never change, do they, Clive? No, they do not. And we have Ambrosia's tack, so there is her tack right on the left there, so we can go ahead and take a look at it. It's a saddle blinders crafted specifically for Clive's childhood chocobo, Ambrosia. Even after being separated from her master, the noble steed served the people of Rosaria in his stead, protecting the defenseless from the merciless just as good shield would.
Clive! Oh, I've missed that scowl.
Where's my report?
What, no kind words for your old pal Gav?
If it's kind words you're after, you're fishing in the wrong barrel. Now sit down, you fool.
So, you remember how quick the Empire was to occupy the Dominion after the fall of Drake's head? And how pissed off all the other nations were that they didn't think to do it first?
Half a century of independence gone at the whim of a madman. So much for their bloody treaty.
Clearly, the promise of unblighted land and the world's supply of crystals was too much for his radiance to resist. And now the Republic's finally decided to follow suit, using liberation as an excuse to declare war on Sambrek. Lined up right outside the Dominion's gates as we speak, looking to starve the Imperials into submission.
And now all eyes are on the Strait of Author.
Well, the two nations beat their shields. The rest sharpen their daggers, ready to set upon the war-weary victor. They'll never see us coming. It's time we moved on the mother crystals.
Alright, we're kicking ourselves off. We're getting this story on the road.
4 mother crystals remain in Storm and Ash. Drake's Breath near Ironhome. Drake's Fang in Dharmekia. Drake's Spine in Waloed. And Drake's Tail here in the Crystalline Dominion.
With the bulk of the Republican army marching to Twinside, Drake's Fang will be left exposed.
That is exactly the move Kupka would anticipate. And if there is anything these past 5 years have taught us, is that he loves his traps. There is one place, however, where nobody will be expecting us to go.
Drake's Breath.
There's a shitload of sea between us and it, and I've never been much of a swimmer.
I have an acquaintance in Port Isolde who may be able to help.
Who's that then?
My uncle, Byron Rossfield.
Lord Byron Rossfield of the 7 High Houses, the trade magnate with holdings in over 100 cities.
Yep, that's the same one.
Wait. Rossfield. And you're a Rossfield, of course.
My uncle's name gave him his start in the world, but it was his acumen which earned him his fortune. Along with a handsome fleet of ships.
Well, it's settled then.
Yep, so now we have to travel southwest throughout Rosaria to get to Port Isolde. Which we'll do our best to. You know, we'll try. So they're letting us know of a few new additional features we have here in the hideout, or the hideaway. So Otto's counter is now open. So there's 2 features in Otto's counter. And then we also have the hunt board open. So the Otto's counter includes the alien reports and the patronage. And then the hunts. Let's have a quest all the way down there that we're gonna go grab real quick.
What are we waiting for, indeed?
I think it's alright to touch him.
Won't be long now, Martel. Sid, I was hoping to speak to you.
Is everything all right?
Oh, yeah, it's just, well, as you know, we've been trying to grow fruit down here.
It's good to know that something of the old hideaway still lives on.
Martel's pride and joy. It was a sapling when she rescued it from the rubble, but look at it now. All our hard work's finally paying off. I took it on, you see, after she died, and now the fruit's finally ready to eat. And not
impressive.
Oh, I didn't mean to skip.
Welcome news to more than a few, I'd say.
I thought this first harvest could go to the curse breakers, on account of all they do for the hideaway. You couldn't take them some, could you? Seems better them coming from you.
Yeah, why not?
It'll be nice being the bearer of good news.
Oh, she always had a soft spot for that lot, see? Once they've had their share, I'll see to it that everyone else gets some. Here you go. Martel apples.
Okay, we have Martel apples that we're going to go ahead and start handing out to some of the bearers here, or the curse breakers here on the ship.
Today's finally the day.
Did you come through the forge today? I hear there's trouble in this area. That broom's as ragged as goats.
You two look like you could use something to eat. Here. Courtesy of Martel.
Martel. Now, where have I heard that name before?
Weren't she the girl from the furrow?
Of course she was. An odd sort, that one. Loved plants more than people.
Aye, and brave as a bane might. Remember when she ran back into the hideaway to collect them trees when Titan attacked? Wait.
These aren't those apples, are they? Well, I'll be. She'd have been proud, and rightly so. Thank you, Sid.
Others weren't so lucky, though.
A gift from the backyard.
Big old basket of apples.
Blimey, these take me back. I haven't seen a hideaway apple since. Old Sid was the only one who could stomach the things. He'd nab them right from the branch, make Martel livid. Not that anyone could stay mad at the man for long.
That sounds like the Sid I knew, all right.
Planning on keeping that lot to yourself? Hang on. These aren't Martels, are they?
They are.
I'm glad to see someone carried on what she started. Can't have been easy, not in the Deadlands. Reckon she'd be happy knowing all her hard work didn't go to waste. Clive, tell the lad down in the backyard to run some over for me, will you?
Not so much as a thank you. Well, I've got some manners at least. Thanks, Sid. You can leave the basket with me. I'll see that the others get their share. Oh, and give our compliments to the gardener, won't you?
That was the last of the apples. I should head to the backyard and pass along everyone's regards.
Oh, Clive! Welcome to the Patron's Whisper.
The Patron's Whisper? Does that mean someone else is taking care of our friend's donations?
Oh no, that's still me. It's just Karen has her toll, Blackthorn has his hammer. I thought a new name might liven things up. I still catalogue every item that arrives, in addition to setting aside those tokens of appreciation the sender has specified are to be presented to you personally. Would you like to see if we have any?
Ask about Desiree.
Business is busy.
Business is busy. On top of my regular duties here at the Whisper, Otto has piled countless other tasks, from transcribing and sorting Stoll's reports to penning needful missives. Not that I'm complaining, mind. I enjoy writing. I have ever since I learned my letters from Jara back in the old hideaway. I won't claim to have been his best student, though. That honor goes to Shirley.
Still.
I like to think it's probably Yara. Yara would be proud of me, too, were he with us today. For the past 5 years.
Words
are immortal, they live on in others, and if the words are your own, so too will you. Do you know who told me that? It was Yara in our last lesson before Titan came. It stayed with me ever since his passing, and has inspired me to become what I am today. I imagine we survivors all have a story like that, of someone who remains with us even though they're gone.
Is everything we've received and everything
So,
promised?
with the Patron's Whisper, as we build our renown through side quests and hunts, we get items.
You earned this.
Good stuff.
Come again. I may have more for you.
Clive.
Ask about Goat.
Oh, same
old, isn't it? Otto's got me reading through the reports coming in from our allies, picking out what problems need dealing with now, what can be saved for later. It was still early days back in the old place, so I could just about handle the job myself. State of the world now, though, I need Dee's help to sift through it all. And that's just the sifting. Actual solving any of these problems is a whole other headache. The curse breakers take the urgent stuff, but we're still waiting for volunteers to handle the rest. So if you ever find yourself at a loose end, well, you know where to find me. So much has happened since that night. It feels like a lifetime ago, but we'll never forget those who didn't make it. Kenneth, Martell, they're still with us in their hearts. And Sid, when I found out he was gone, I thought that was it for us. But he's still with us and in you. You took his name and gave us hope when we had none. And so I suppose what I'm trying to say is don't be a stranger, eh? Hideaway ain't nothing without its Sid.
Here you go.
So we got no side quests available.
In there.
Ah, yes. Our mysterious Moogle friend. Nectar, was it?
Nectar's like Nectar
I'll
the
stick
Bold.
with Nectar if it's all the same to you. What seems to be the matter?
The matter is this.
The hunt board. It's where the curse breakers post sightings of particularly fearsome beasts. Those that might pose a threat to our operations if they were left to roam free. Just because they can't be dealt with when they're spotted, doesn't mean they can't be dealt with later. Was that what you wanted to know?
Of course not. I knew all that already, and that's why I need your help. As I need not remind you, Koopa, I'm the mightiest of all Moogles, no fiend of the forest or ghoul of the great word. Okay, so I need you to slay them all.
Right. The people of Valisthea are going through a lot. The last thing they need is ungodly fiends terrorizing them on top of everything else. And perhaps I can...
Oh, thank you, Kupo. It's so good to have found someone who understands me. I'll stay here then and keep an eye on all the billets that get posted on the board. If there's anything you need, I'll let you know. Did you see that the Curse Breakers give every billet a rank of riskiness? From this thing could kill you with a single swipe to 7-nation army couldn't scratch this thing's skin. I'm sure you'll be fine. Well, not sure, but that's one's risk I'm willing to take. Did you see marked the location? But you can't be expected to memorize every last place name in the whole wide realm. You're only human, so if the place doesn't tingle your pom-pom, try reading the witness's statement. Sometimes there are other details in them that might help you track down the nasties and finish them off. The Curse Breakers don't just tack up any old rumors to this board, you know. They take great pains to verify every little detail. So don't you go letting all their hard work go to waste. Don't you let me, I mean them, down. It's precisely what you see before you. The Curse Breakers note down the details of any particularly dangerous monsters they hear about encounter or in the course of their duties, and so the billets here so that any stout soul who wishes to do the realm of service might set out to slaughter an ungodly horror or two, which is where you come in. As for me, I have the most important duty of all, painting a big red cross over each and every one you cut down, so that everyone can sleep at night knowing that the realm is a safer place. I'm talking about the time I visited the Great Continent.
I don't think so.
Of course I didn't, because I've never been. Look at these wings. They look like the sort of that might carry a Mughal actress countless leagues across open sea. They call me Nectar the Bold, not Nectar the Stupid. That's fair. So we should have, what, 3? Yeah, we got 3 total. So obviously the eyeball, which we've killed, the Angel of Death, and then the Belphegor. We'll be able to find those just as we continue. Last, I want my...
And how may I assist you today?
Real quick, State of the Realm.
Allow me to educate you. Here you are. Thus ends today's lesson.
Let's go turn the side quest in, and then save it.
That room's as ragged as goat's locks. I hear there's trouble in Rosaria. Did you come through the forge today? How much water can a flower drink?
I don't know, I was stuck there.
The curse breakers
Curse breakers send their thanks and their compliments. They're really... Oh,
They
yeah, you're
remembered
talking.
her.
They're talking.
I suppose she was very kind, even to a tongue-tied lummox like me. You were one of the good ones, Martel. Why did you have to die? She put everything into her work. She wasn't going to rest until we had fruit sweet enough to enjoy. And now we do. When she died, I named a sapling after her.
And through you. Her dream.
I didn't do anything really, but...
Thank you, you're kinder to me than I deserve.
By the way, Otto's...
Of course not. They like your fruit, Martel.
Alright, we got Martel's apples. Okay. That's where we're going to save it for now. We will pick back up next week with... Or not next week. Sorry, my bad. We'll pick back up this week with some more Final Fantasy 16. I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. It's been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it. So we will be back on Thursday. And I hope to see you guys then. Based on kind of where we are time-wise. Not really anyone that I want to go out and raid at the current moment. So we'll just go ahead and dip out from here. So peace out, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. Stay safe, and don't forget to tell somebody you love them. We'll see you around.